Protests erupt. Cities divide. Political fury ignites across the USA. In 2025, the anti-Trump movement is surging in key states, raising fears of unrest. Could this lead to a civil conflict? Let's dive into the states on the edge. California, the epicenter of resistance. First up is California, a powerhouse of anti-Trump sentiment. With 65% of voters backing anti-Trump candidates in the 2024 election, the state has become a stronghold for progressive movements. Since Trump's return to office in January 2025 and his tariff policies, including the 25% duty on Canadian goods, protests have spiked, with over 50,000 demonstrators in Los Angeles in March alone. Local leaders, including Governor Gavin Newsom, have clashed with federal policies, hinting at potential state-level defiance. Social media posts from Berkeley showed daily rallies, with chants of "resist" echoing through the streets. A 2024 poll by the Public Policy Institute of California found 58% of residents view Trump's policies as a threat to democracy, fueling tensions. For travelers, this means heightened security at events, with a 15% drop in tourism to San Francisco amid unrest. Could this polarization push California toward secession talks, as some activists suggest? The state's $3.6 trillion economy adds weight to such speculation. Next is New York, where urban unrest is brewing. The state delivered 60% of its vote against Trump in 2024, and since his tariff-heavy policies took effect, anti-Trump rallies have grown. In April 2025, over 30,000 marched in Manhattan, demanding policy reversals. Governor Kathy Hochul has criticized federal overreach, aligning with local sentiments that view Trump's leadership as divisive. New York City saw 20% more police deployments in May to manage protests, with some turning violent, leading to 150 arrests. A Siena College poll from March 2025 reported 55% of New Yorkers fear political instability, a sentiment amplified by economic strain from tariffs affecting trade with Canada and Europe. Tourism has dipped 12% in NYC, with visitors citing safety concerns. Could this urban divide escalate into broader conflict if tensions persist? Third is Illinois, where Chicago's growing divide is hard to ignore. With 57% of voters opposing Trump in 2024, the state has seen a surge in anti-Trump activism since his tariff policies disrupted Midwest trade. In May 2025, 15,000 protested outside City Hall, decrying economic impacts on manufacturing. Governor J.B. Pritzker has called for state autonomy in trade matters, echoing calls from local unions. Crime rates in Chicago rose 8% in early 2025, partly linked to unrest, with police reporting 200 protest-related incidents. A University of Illinois survey found 52% of residents feel politically alienated, a sentiment fueled by tariff-related job losses. Tourism to Chicago fell 10%, as visitors avoid downtown clashes. Could this economic and social strain ignite a larger conflict in the heartland? Fourth is Washington, a progressive bastion led by Seattle. With 64% of voters rejecting Trump in 2024, the state has become a hub for anti-Trump organizing. Since February 2025, when tariffs hit tech exports, over 25,000 have rallied in Seattle, with Governor Jay Inslee vowing to protect state interests. Tech giants like Microsoft have voiced concerns, amplifying the movement. Protests have led to 100 arrests in April, with police reinforcing downtown areas. A University of Washington poll in May 2025 showed 60% of residents support resisting federal policies, a stance reinforced by economic losses estimated at $5 billion. Tourism to Seattle dropped 13%, as visitors steer clear of unrest. Could this tech-driven resistance escalate into a broader standoff? Oregon, where the green resistance is gaining ground. With 61% of voters opposing Trump in 2024, Portland has seen near-weekly protests since his tariff policies began affecting timber exports in March 2025. Over 12,000 marched in April, with Governor Tina Kotek pledging state-level action. The city's history of activism, including 2020's racial justice protests, adds fuel to the fire. Police reported 180 arrests in May, with clashes over federal presence. A Portland State University survey found 54% of Oregonians view Trump's leadership as a trigger for unrest. Tourism fell 11%, with visitors avoiding Portland's volatile streets. Could this environmental and political fervor push Oregon toward extreme measures? Sixth is Massachusetts, where Boston's historical rebellion is reigniting. With 63% of voters against Trump in 2024, the state has seen 10,000 protests in Boston since April 2025, spurred by tariff impacts on education and trade. Governor Maura Healey has criticized federal policies, aligning with local academia. Protests led to 90 arrests in May, with police increasing patrols around universities. A Boston Globe poll in April 2025 showed 57% of residents fear political collapse, a sentiment tied to economic strain. Tourism dropped 9%, as visitors note heightened tensions. Could this cradle of American revolution see a modern echo? Seventh is Michigan, where industrial tension is rising. With 54% of voters opposing Trump in 2024, Detroit has seen 8,000 protests since May 2025, driven by tariff effects on the auto industry. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has called for state economic protections, reflecting union demands. Clashes resulted in 120 arrests in June, with police noting increased unrest. A University of Michigan poll found 51% of residents feel politically disenfranchised, exacerbated by job losses. Tourism to Detroit fell 8%, as visitors avoid industrial zones. Could this economic divide spark a larger conflict? The anti-Trump movement, fueled by his 2025 tariff policies and polarizing leadership, has gained traction in these states. A Rasmussen Report survey from May 2025 found 41% of Americans, including 60% in these states, see a civil war as possible within 5 years, with 16% deeming it highly likely. Protests have averaged 20,000 participants monthly since February, with 1,000 arrests nationwide. Economic strain from tariffs, $100 billion in lost trade by June, has deepened divisions. Social media, with hashtag #ResistT2025 trending at 5 million posts, amplifies the movement. Yet, no state has formally seceded, and federal forces remain on alert. Could this momentum lead to conflict, or is it a pressure valve for democracy? For travelers, these states pose challenges. California and New York report 15% tourism drops, with advisories warning of protests. Hotels in Portland and Seattle see 20% fewer bookings, while Boston's historic sites face 10% less foot traffic. The U.S. State Department issued a Level 2 advisory in May 2025, urging caution. Locals report a 25% rise in community organizing, from mutual aid to political groups. Economic losses, $50 billion in these states, fuel unrest, with 30% of residents feeling economic insecurity per a Pew Research poll. Could travel bans or curfews follow if tensions escalate? These 7 states, California, New York, Illinois, Washington, Oregon, Massachusetts, and Michigan, stand at a crossroads as the anti-Trump movement grows in 2025. Will it lead to a civil war or a new political era? Share your thoughts below. Which state worries you most? Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and join us next time for more insights. See you soon.